We are good to go. What's going on, good people of the internet? It is time for OnComicsGrounds.com's flagship podcast, panel to panel, where a bunch of folks shoot the breeze and talk about comic books and such. We are here live for episode 9, talking about all the latest comic book news that we have missed in the past week and a half, but we are back here now to talk about everything that has been going on in comic books and nerd culture. My name is James Portis. To my right, we have the amazing, the awesome, the kick butt crime fighter, Mary. How you doing tonight, Mary?
I said I'm doing okay. Can
Oh,
you
I
hear
didn't
me?
hear you. I was like, I just heard like a straight pause, and I'm like, wait, where'd she go? Come back.
No, I'm doing all right.
All right, dope. And to my left, we have the hard-working welder himself, Travis. How you doing?
Tired as always.
You need to get more sleep, man.
No, sleep is for the weak.
Oh my gosh. Okay. We are going to go ahead and get into this topic, but before we do, don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at On Comics Ground, and follow the podcast Twitter at I almost said Love on the Edges Twitter, PTP underscore podcast, and don't forget to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/On Comics Ground. Every day we are posting our reviews and different op-eds talking about the comic book industry and nerd culture, so please make sure to check us out there. All right, so we are going to go ahead and get into it with our opening topic. Our opening topic is going to talk to be a little bit of a catch up from what we have missed in the past week and a half that we have been gone. And the first thing up is about a week and a half ago we had E3, the big gaming and entertainment expo that goes down every year. And the big highlight for us comic fans was after the long and painful treatment that was done to us, where Square Enix made us sit through their entire press conference talking about all of their new JRPGs that are coming out. They revealed to us the new Avengers game that is going to be coming to consoles and PC next year. And this thing was very interesting. The comic book and video game communities were going insane over it. They were having views very debated about the graphics, being very debated about the MCU parallels, the lack of Hawkeye, which is really frustrating, and everything else in between going on with this game. First impressions about what's going on here. Mary, how did you feel about this trailer?
I mean, game trailers are always, and unfortunately, in the case of a lot of games, sometimes they end up being better than the game itself.
That's true. We had the case of what 2 years ago, where Anthem's like gameplay trailer of like starting out was literally nothing like what the game ended up being.
hmm
So
But
there's that
so I
potential.
mean, they put a lot into game trailers. Um, Something I am worried about are the apparent MCU connections, because I get wanting to rehash what works, but it also is important in these kinds of situations.
Originality definitely is important. One thing that I noticed is the fact that like why wasn't Hawkeye here? Especially if you're doing the MCU parallels, and also you're trying to make MCU parallels in a brand new like starting out universe. There is no connections to the MCU. It's a brand new property with like they didn't even try to make them look like their MCU counterparts. They made them look different. Captain America's costume was like the thing that everybody was upset about, but I loved it. Like I don't know if I'm the only one in the room, but I loved how like very military it looked. Am I the only one here on that one?
No,
I
no,
mean,
I enjoyed that.
Mary?
I'm still a fan of the fish plate costume, so
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, like the one for Endgame kind of like snuck in the scale mail a little bit. So like they're trying to give him a little bit of taste of that. But there was that, and then there's the issue of like the graphic fidelity of this first trailer that a lot of people were upset about. Um, what do you guys think of that? Mary,
Hmm.
are you dead, Mary? Are you there?
Yeah.
Cause your light's like flashing, but it's almost like you're not coming through all the way.
Conditioner on.
Okay, are you good?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
Yeah? Okay. Through to my face.
Okay, so what you think about these graphics?
Again, it kind of, for me, it bounces back to the whole, the graphics in the trailers aren't necessarily the graphics in the game,
Yeah.
Because Dishonored, for example, Dishonored 2, the graphics in the trailer are a hell of a lot better than the graphics in the game.
That's true. Granted, the game itself was actually pretty good at launch.
It is literally just I looked up and it's the first game on my game shelf. So,
Yeah, but it's still a very good reference. I love Dishonored so much.
but unfortunately, I am that kind of person that with video games, I will wait and see.
That's
Movie
fair.
and TV trailers reflect the actual technical quality of the product. Games, you have cutscenes. Sometimes the trailers are just, created to be just that. They're just created to be trailers. And yes, movies are guilty of putting scenes in trailers, but not putting them in the film itself. Still getting a sense, Batman vs Superman. We saw Doomsday in the trailer, and that's what Doomsday looked like in the movie.
Travis just went so cringe mode because he knows it's true.
I am making a technical point.
Yes, but regardless, it's still that deep cut that hurts us all. But no, you are
it's
definitely correct.
it's never the fact that you're making the point that hurts me, Mary. It's the truth. It's the truth. It's me facing reality. That's what it is.
What I've loved about doing this is Mary's hot takes just stinging Travis where it hurts, but teaching him the realness, and I love it.
Oh, because I always try to rationalize. Well, Doomsday was okay. I just didn't like how he came out, and I'm thinking about it, and he looks like a rotten potato.
I saw somebody make the best point on Twitter the other day that there's been 3 different live action interpretations of Doomsday, and the 2 TV ones have done it better than the movie budget.
That is sad.
But no, Travis, what did you think of this trailer? It was a lot. There was definitely a couple snippets of gameplay in there, but there's a lot of concerns going on of the fears of microtransactions and stuff like that. What do you think about all this?
It depends on how they do the microtransactions, in my opinion. With my experience in gaming, microtransactions start to suck when they actually give you not just a look, an actual in-game benefit that you can use to your advantage, against a player or when you're farming a material or something. Now, I don't see that happening much in this game because it seems pretty linear, but I'm concerned with finding myself wanting to spend $20 on a Rune King Thor skin.
Ooh.
Yeah, see, that's the issue that I'm having the microtransactions. My main problem with them is not that they exist; it's what they're for, and it seems just to hook, line, and sinker more money out of a dedicated fan base. So
Most
that does worry me.
Well, one thing that they said was there's not gonna be any pay to win type situations, and there's not gonna be any crazy loot box crap. So what the vibe that I'm getting is that there's going to be just flat out pay a dollar, pay $2-3 for a costume, and that makes a lot of sense. But at the same time, though, we had things like the original 2 Marvel Ultimate Alliances where you just put in some cheat codes or you did some achievement type stuff to unlock costumes, beat this many enemies to get an Ultimate Spider-Man or Iron Spider suit. The idea of having to pay for these costumes is definitely gonna have some people salty, no matter how they're doing it. Especially because they're trying to say this is going to be a live service in terms of co-op, because there's not gonna be any online PvP type situations. It's all gonna be online co-op. So to try to say you're gonna have this live service of a co-op functionality for multiple years and bring out multiple heroes besides just what we saw in the trailer, that's kind of worrying that you could try to nickel and dime people with costumes.
Yeah, and it's not an issue with Marvel, more so, or it's more an issue with the gaming industry's status quo. Like, because like you said with Marvel Ultimate Alliance, like 1 and 2, back in the day, you could put in cheat codes for anything. Like I remember the old PlayStation 1 Spider-Man game where I could put in a cheat code and play as Captain Universe, and that was amazing. But now we're in a day and age where they'd rather sell that to you rather than make
Yeah.
it some kind of unlockable, which is, like I said, a problem with the gaming community more so than the comic industry. But the comic industry benefits heavily from this because I can think of no other reference heavy nickel and dime capability outside of a comic book game. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like you have all these different universes, versions, and all reskins of basically the same characters where they could just keep raking in money with this. And that's kind of where I'm kind of terrified because if the game is awful, they're still going to make a ton of money right off the bat from skins because I can't it's going to be common for people to, oh, all right, I'm Iron Man, I'm going to unlock the Endosim suit. All right, cool, $2 right then and there, but then they're disappointed with the game and they already bought the game. You know what I'm saying? Which is a possibility. I know I'm going to be one falling into that pit because I have a soft spot for superhero games, but I don't know. I got high hopes for it. I got
Well,
high hopes, but
all right. Well, Mary, we know that there is going to be the like the Avengers that we saw. Randomly, Hawkeye's not here, which is sad, and I hate it. I agree with a lot of
I
Travis's
mean, is
points.
it really?
Well, like they flat out just went like he might come later, but there's like all the original Avengers from one, but Hawkeye, and it's like, and then they go, okay, Hank Pym's in the and like gonna come later too, and it's like what? So who are you looking forward to seeing? Or are wanting? Like if you had like a top three, top five, who would you want to come in and see?
I'm still here. What the hell?
Like there's just like no audio coming through. I heard I'm still here. What the hell?
Hello?
Hello.
Yes, no, maybe.
Yeah, like I heard the yes, no, maybe. Like I don't know what's going on.
X-Men. Avengers game. I want the X-Men.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true. You want the X Men. X Men are important.
So,
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, is there anybody else besides the X Men that you would want?
can you hear me?
Yes, I heard. Can you hear me?
I mean, besides my absolute fangirl need for the X-Men, um, I'd probably want to see justice for Janet Van Dyne because she should have been in the Avengers.
She should have.
Just saying, not salty about that at all. Probably Wasp, America Chavez, just because I want to see her punch people already. And
Yes. We got her in the Lego game, so it's possible.
and that's a good question. I'm trying to think of like my future fight lineup.
Bruh, yes.
Angela. I mean, I think Angela would be a fun addition.
Okay. Travis, what about you? Who do you need in this game?
Gladiator.
Why Gladiator of all people?
Because I have a soft spot for extremely OP Superman clones. And I know I'm going to get torn apart, but you can never convince me that an alien who's the last survivor named Calark is not a Clark clone.
Okay,
So,
but like, wouldn't it make more sense to bring someone in like Hyperion who has been an Avenger, not like Gladiator?
I don't. With Hyperion comes a lot of expectations for me because
Like what?
if I get Hyperion, I better get a Secret Wars. You know, like I want to play the part where he held the two Earths and the universes collapsed upon him. That would be amazing to see and
That's
feel
fair.
in real time.
See, I feel like if you ever read Exiles, like the original run, I feel like you would hate Hyperion afterwards. It would break your heart because like there's this whole thing where like an alternate reality version of Hyperion tries to kill everybody, and it's very funny.
Yeah, I've seen scans of here and there on that one. Isn't that where Juggernaut was getting beat up and he like punched Juggernaut in the head and broke his hand and Kane laughed at him?
I don't. That doesn't. No, that is not correct.
I just remember King Hyperion went brutal on everybody, and I thought that was a part of it.
There might be a different X-Men comic.
The chat's calling for Hercules, and I agree.
Hercules
No,
would be
no
good.
complaints.
Hercules would be good. I would definitely agree with Hercules. Like, yeah, especially in a game like this where like you can have multiple like super strong characters just kicking ass. Like, I could definitely see Hercules putting in work. For me, I feel as if like announcing Ant-Man as like your next hero was the wrong move. They should have just swung for the fences. And if you're gonna use the MCU parallels, you should have just flat out been like day one DLC Black Panther and Captain Marvel. If you're gonna do it, just do it. Like don't like freaking as bad of a game as it was. What was it? Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite flat out said Captain Marvel's in the main roster and Black Panther is day one DLC. Like, that was like flat out just cool. And then the chat's saying, give me the ability to play as bad guys turned heroes too.
Yes.
But see, like, Ultimate Alliance 3s are already doing that. Like who would you pull in as a villain, like, for the Avengers game?
And it doesn't have to specifically be an Avengers villain, though.
That's true. Like, Doom's been in the Avengers villain a couple times.
I can play as Catwoman in Arkham City, and I can play as Catwoman in Injustice 2, so...
You right. I'm saying I want Doom.
To the game, not Injustice also, but...
Well then who would you want as a villain pick, Mary?
I've been doing some catch-up reading, because, again, a lot of this is based off of my future fight lineup, because I have a problem with this game.
Same.
I want to see Superior Spider-Man because I got the costume for Doc Ock, and I'm like, okay, this is fun. And then I've been reading the story, and I'm like, oh my god, I kind of need this.
Travis, who would be your villain pick then?
My villain pick?
Yeah, if you could have one villain to play as in this game after seeing the graphics and whatnot, who would you
Oh, that's so tough. I resent you for this. Like, it's like out of all of the people, I kind of have a tie between two because it would be an opportunity for the writers. I hope they're listening to let Sam Wilson fight Hydra Cap.
Ooh,
That would
Yeah.
be.
Ooh. See, yeah, that would be great.
That would be so good because it just it should never have been of Miles. I love Miles, but it shouldn't have been Miles. It should have been Sam. Should have been Sam. I'll say it till I die.
See,
But
go ahead.
outside of that, I think my other choice would most likely be Gore the God Butcher.
Ooh, that's a wild pick right there.
Well, it's a lot of it has to do with me thinking about it as a video game, you know, because like if you played like remember Asura's Wrath and how like over the top it was with its like it would be really cool to see something similar to that with Thor and Gore's fight, how they start cracking the planets around them.
Ooh.
That would be neat.
Okay. Well, all in all, this is definitely turning into a we'll wait and see scenario. So we will definitely have to see what happens with this game. From there, we're going to go ahead and move on to our next thing, where Bendis revealed that the Legion of Superheroes is coming. Yes. I mean, like their costumes are a little weird looking, but yes. Like, do you know how long I have waited for this? Like, I've waited so long. Like, literally, Legion Lost was canceled in 2012. I have waited freaking 7 years for Legion of Superheroes to be in like the main DC universe again. That's depressing. Mary, like help me out here. Like, isn't this good news? Like, yes, it's Bendis, but isn't this good news that Legion's coming back?
It definitely is good news. I am concerned about, and there are things I am excited about. A personal take, but I always kind of felt the Legion has a bit of a time problem. Of at the core, it's very Silver Age. It's very, the Silver Age was the heyday of, the galactic space stuff,
Yeah.
Updating the Legion from that mindset can be a little difficult. It's brought in a bunch of new readers, so they are going to have to sell the Legion to people who don't have that kind of a Silver Age nostalgia mindset.
That's true.
To see how how they can be updated, because people who have been reading comics for a long time, we have read these older Silver Age versions of the Legion. We've read Legion books throughout. I think Supergirl may have actually done this book some favors in the Supergirl the TV show, in the sense that, some of these new readers may have been introduced to the Legion on TV, so they have something to compare it to.
That's true. It gives them more to come in.
Excited that they're coming back. What I do think is interesting is that Bendis said that his story is going to be the quote-unquote first appearance of the Legion of Superheroes in this current iteration of the DC Universe. So we are starting over with the Legion.
Okay. I didn't hear that.
Yeah, it's from a Newsarama story from the 13th. Bendis did not say that his story will be Bendis did say that that the story he's telling will constitute the first appearance of the Legion of Superheroes in this iteration of the DC Universe.
Okay. So are we running on the assumption that the current DCU is just like half New 52, half pre-New 52, and just saying screw it? Because like it's starting to get really annoying.
Continuity sleeves.
Yeah.
The current DC Universe, Rebirth included, began in the beginning of the New 52.
Yep.
Her Flashpoint no longer existed. A publication. Anything before Flashpoint is out of canon. It has been retconned. It does not exist. And we had Rebirth, which showed us that on Barry's return trip, Dr. Manhattan intervened. Oh, I'm a few issues behind with Doomsday Clock. We don't know if he split the universes or what he did. But pretty much, from what we can understand and infer, Dr. Manhattan may have created the New 52.
I figured it was just a chain of events based on... wait, spoilers. Hold on, wait.
Complicated when we look at Superman Reborn.
Yeah, I think it's even worse.
Convergence, and they undo Crisis on Infinite Earth. The heroes from that universe scatter, and Clark and Lois end up on New 52 Earth, and they have been there since the beginning. Just, oh god, it gets so confusing, because when New 52 Superman dies, post-Crisis Superman is like, okay, well, I guess they need somebody. And then we go through all of that until Superman Reborn hits, where the energies of New 52 Clark and Lois combined with the energies of post-Crisis Clark and Lois, and the universe is rewritten.
Yeah, and then weird things like New 52, like Superboy and other things that they want to get rid of are erased. But then like some things like the Titans history is still there, and it's like, this is weird and I don't like it. I just like, and ever since Dark Knight's Metal, where they revealed that like Aquaman's hook hand happened too, I've just been sitting here like, nothing makes sense anymore, because that means Mara's been queen twice. But
here's the thing. How much of this was affected by the events of Rebirth and the events of Superman Reborn? Superman Reborn had to completely rewrite the Superman story. So, yes, he and Lois did get married. Yes, they did have John. Yes,
That's
thing.
true. Okay.
So I think they're interjecting a lot of crap DC canon right now, so that way it gives them an out to basically point to Superman Reborn and go, oh, but here's the thing that did that.
Yeah, but at the same time, you have Bendis going in the Young Justice book, basically rewriting Titan's Rebirth on a new piece of paper and saying there is a universe that was that like went away. So like, I feel as if we're still having the problem where no one's driving the bus and it's going off of a cliff.
Exactly what's happening. I don't think
That's exactly what's happening.
I mean, welcome to DC Comics, where the continuity quite literally does not matter.
That's depressing. Okay. Well, hopefully the Legion coming in is a good thing. I think the one thing that worries me is their hairstyles.
Hairstyles?
Like Lightning Lad's like hair is just something out of this world. I'm gonna take it as a future haircut and leave it at that. But I know some people were a little iffy on their costumes, but they look very futuristic. I know Saturn Girls looks a little weird, but it definitely gives them a new age flair and like a more futuristic look to them instead of like the old school Silver Age sci-fi look. So I dig it. And then I don't know if this means Bendis is writing a Legion book or if the Legion's just taking a pit stop. I don't think we've gotten any more information on that specifically, but hopefully sooner or later we'll get a like Legion book long term. I don't know if Bendis will be the one to write it. I know it was mentioned in the chat that like there was a want from Gail Simone to write this the story. And also, Kai, you cannot have Leather Stripper Daddy Cosmic Boy. That was a one-off.
Why not? No, I agree with Kai.
No, this was a one-off comic. It'll never happen again. I don't know who like brought that up the one day when that happened. Okay. Next thing like that on the agenda that we had missed that I know that Mary will be excited about is that I don't know how to pronounce this boy's name. Stefan Sajic, who has been doing a lot of variant cover work and also did some interiors for both Justice League Odyssey and for Aquaman, and like since coming to DC, is getting his opportunity to write a Harley Quinn origin book under DC's Black label, and also being able to draw it like in the same vein of Sean Gordon Murphy being allowed to write and draw his Black label book. It looks very good. I will say that. Mary, you know more about like Sajic than I do. Like, is this a good thing or a bad thing?
It is. Well, that's a bit of a loaded question, because if you like a hardcore Joker Harley like romance, if you think they are the end all and be all of romance, news for you. I think that Harley was the victim of an abusive relationship. This is sort of good news, if you want to call that good news.
Okay.
And of Sajic for a really long time. I actually ended up finding Sunstone on his DeviantArt page when it was still a webcomic. More volumes of Sunstone than someone in polite society should admit to having. He really the struggle would quote unquote realistically go through having been the victim of an abusive relationship. I mean, in his own fan works, because he's notorious for doing fan comics, because I think the most recent ones that he did were the Wonder Woman Lara Croft comics.
Mm-hmm.
In his own fan comics, he's done various... my brain does not want to work today. He's done a lot of different, 1 or 2 or 3 page fan comics where Harley has to confront these things. There's one in particular that sticks out into my mind of Harley is in her traditional jester suit and she's attacking Ivy because Joker said she had to. And Ivy is able to peacefully disable her, as it were. And Ivy starts to rub off the grease paint. And one of Harley's eye, Harley has a black eye under the grease paint.
Oh.
And with the fact that he has complete control over this book, the fact that he's writing and doing the art, I think we can expect a different kind of origin. Sajik is, at least I can hope. And I'm usually more articulate than this.
Cool.
But hope for this book is that he is going to remove the romanticization of this origin that really is not romantic at all. I mean, it's abuse, plain and simple, and to see what he does with it and to see more of who Harley is as a character or a person. Where she is now, she's been portrayed as kind of like a Deadpool type stand-in. She has wacky, out-of-continuity hijinks.
Yeah.
And to see a legitimate character-driven piece. And I think he can do that well.
Okay. Well, Travis, what do you think about the idea of Harley having more of a darker tale going on here in a Black Label book?
Honestly, I'm excited to see it in a Black Label book. It's going to be a really grueling read if I know how these Black Label people have been doing it so far. But I agree with everything that Mary had said. It's not a romantic relationship, and it never was, frankly. It was always Joker being just that guy, and she had the craziest case of Stockholm Syndrome we had ever seen. And it's going to be nice to see maybe where that comes from, why she loves him, and then maybe we can understand a little more about what's going on with Harley and why we keep getting into this weird vortex of I'll never stop loving Mr. J no matter how many times I get with someone who's halfway better. Like, I don't know. I'm curious to see if they do anything. Maybe they'll shed some light on her relationship with Deadshot and how that ended, because that was pretty dark for its time, and Black Label's perfect to expand on that.
Yeah, New 52 Suicide Squad was going some dark places, and then DC Rebirth comes along, and Rob Williams just goes, "We're not going to talk about any of that."
Right. It was pretty much the only good, a few things good came out of New 52, but those things apparently had to die too, which sad.
Yeah.
Sucks.
I hated Skinny Waller, but I loved the Harley and Deadshot dynamic of that book.
Yeah, when she had him tied up and put Joker's face on his, oh god, I was freaking out.
She's that traumatized by the entire situation, and then
dude,
oh my gosh. The entire book.
No, continue. So I'm sorry.
Well, there's even that scene during Death of the Family in Suicide Squad where Joker kidnaps her from Deadshot's funeral because he was quote unquote dead at the time, and he throws her in a jail cell with a bunch of dead bodies that look like her, and he goes "Do you think you were the first?" And I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yep, I remember that. He chained her up. That was rough. That was another one of those times I had to put the book down and walk away for a second.
That entire thing was just weird. So maybe this is a good thing, because I agree with Mary that I've been getting really tired of the idea of Harley having the Deadpool mindset. So this could be a good thing. I'm tired of her just being the female Deadpool. I want her to actually be her own thing. So that'll be a good thing.
Kai in the chat.
What were you gonna say, Mary?
I was gonna say, Kai in the chat pointed out that Sajik's fan comics for Harley are pretty deep, and she mentions that this is a dream book for him to write, and it absolutely is. I mean, this is an absolute dream book for him. I think the only book that he wants to do slightly more than this is a Poison Ivy story. And he has confirmed that she will show up, so we're going to be getting an interesting bit of that dynamic as well.
Well, that's good. I know all the Ivy fans will be happy about that.
And Kai also said that she's hoping that it's closer to his fan comics, and frankly, I am too.
Hopefully DC will let him get that power, because like it seems as if Black Label is finally starting to get into more of its stride after the whole Damn situation, because Last Night on Earth was just amazing.
And Stejek, he's got a lot of selling power. He absolutely does.
That's good.
So here's hoping it does well.
Definitely. Well, from there, we're going to get into some more recent news topics. This one will definitely be talked about on next week's episode of Living on the Edge. But to give some more thoughts of how we feel about this, we've been getting this recent countdown from Marvel Comics' Twitter, like starting from 4. Of all the numbers to start a countdown from, you start from 4. I don't understand why, but like these simple little daily little countdown numbers of 4, 3, 2, 1, and finally on the day of 1, we got the reveal that in a new limited series, J.J. Abrams, his son, and Sarah Pacelli are going to be writing a Spider-Man book, and I'm at a loss for this one. I don't understand why it's a thing. I don't know, like, other than the idea of J.J. Abrams coming in and doing something like this just for the kicks. I don't understand what could be gained from this. Like,
that person, but like, who is this for?
That's where I'm at. It's like we have 2 Spider-Man books going on right now. We have Amazing and Friendly Neighborhood. We have Miles's book. We have Gwen, who just got kicked over to the 616, and it's like, who asked for this? It's not like, oh, I have a problem with J.J. Abrams and his son Henry doing a book. I'm like, who like I'm definitely in agreement with you. Like, who asked for this? It doesn't make any sense. Now, granted, it does seem like a cool thing to get his foot in the door, but all we know about it is it's going to have a new villain named Cadaverous, which is okay. I've heard worse villain names, so okay.
Cadaverous.
Like, like, is he just gonna like chop people up? Is he gonna be a coroner? What are you gonna do with that? But I definitely think this has, like, someone's gonna buy this. I don't know if it'll be me, but if someone's gonna enjoy it, or if someone's just a big J.J. Abrams fan, I feel like it's good. But I don't understand why this exists.
Wait. Kai in the chat pointed out that apparently he's made of dead bodies.
No,
That's
don't tell me that.
That's just flat goofy.
Like, he could have just been a coroner who likes to chop people up, or like he could have been a cannibal. Now you're telling me he's just made of dead bodies. Like, why? Like, I have the article open, like it just says his name, and I'm just like,
she's making a joke. She's making a joke. She's not even sorry.
Oh, she's making a joke. Okay, but no, like that is something that Marvel would do, is just make him out of dead bodies.
Be surprised if they did.
It could happen. It could happen. But it just, we hit the epitome of spider saturation during All New, All Different Marvel. And I just forgot about Superior Spider-Man being a book too. Superior Spider-Man is totally a book right now. So we have so many Spider People books going on, and we're approaching Overload again, like how we had during All New, All Different Marvel. And I'm just like, and during Marvel Now, because we had Scarlet Spider and we had 2099 going on. And I'm just like, why? But thankfully, it's a limited series, which is obvious because J.J. Abrams can't stay on forever to write a Spider-Man book. But I don't get it. Travis, what do you think?
I think that they're trying to jump on that Umbrella Academy money. Like, that's something I can think of. Look at this big name that you know writing a comic. Maybe you'll read comics now, while the comic fans are like, no. I mean, thank you, but no. It's like, I don't know, it's like getting a doily from your grandma on your birthday.
That happened to me every year.
Seriously.
So Mary gets it. Like
Mary totally
it's nice.
understands.
I
I do.
appreciate this, but who needs this? I don't. I don't even know where I could put this.
Oh my
You know. That's how I feel about it. Like I like J.J. Abrams' work, and I like Spider-Man. So I'm not saying it's gonna be bad, but it is so left field, man.
Yeah, I don't understand. It doesn't make a lick of sense. Well, hopefully this book appeals to somebody. It'll like someone will enjoy this. Again, I don't know if it'll be me. But yeah, it's a thing. And the other thing that was pretty big this week was the idea that Bryan Singer has finally been fully replaced on the Red Sonja movie that is coming out with director Jill Soloway. I believe I had the article up a second ago. Jill Soloway had directed a movie. See, now I feel dumb because I had it and then I closed it for like 2 seconds to look something else up. And okay, cool. Deadline. Hi, Deadline. Where'd it go? Horrible radio. Yeah, she was the director of Transparent movie musical finale. It's definitely good. They got a female in the chair for this. I honestly, I've never read a Red Sonja comic in my entire life. Mary, is this a good thing? Like, I know a lot of people were pretty upset about like Bryan Singer being in the chair to begin with on this kind of project, but is this a good thing that this has a fresh pair of eyes, and especially for a woman character like this?
I mean, with Bryan Singer, you had a sexual predator in the chair for a character who was a sexual assault victim. So yeah, it's very good news that Bryan frickin' Singer's out of there.
Okay.
In terms of Jill Soloway, I will admit I am not 100% familiar with her work. I know seems like her big credit is Transparent, and well, I have never seen the show.
Same. But apparently it's been very groundbreaking on Amazon, so I guess that's a good thing.
If it's a critically lauded show, then I guess something has to be working there. But I am familiar with the premise, but I've never actually seen the show itself.
Okay. Well, for anybody who doesn't really know, like myself, like it wasn't really big on Red Sonja. Like, is this something worth like people's time to look into? Like can you give people a lowdown?
Oh, Red Sonja?
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, if you love a cringy good time, look up the Brigitte Nielsen movie because cringe. All of the cringe.
Oh my god.
Okay. Interesting.
It is a follow-up movie to Arnold Schwarzenegger's Conan the Barbarian.
Oh god. Now I have to look this up. Oh god.
If you want a cringy good time. But Red Sonja herself has actually had a couple of different iterations. In the beginning, she was a Marvel character who was licensed within the Conan the Barbarian universe, kind of a thing. But eventually, Marvel let that copyright expire.
Mm-hmm.
It swooped in and picked up the copyright, and the character was reinvented for Dynamite. Her God, what's the word I'm thinking of? Her most critically lauded run definitely comes from Gail Simone's run on the character.
Well, yeah, we love Gail. Gail's a good time.
But I'm trying to like nail it because, like, you know, Marvel Red Sonja and Dynamite Red Sonja, they're separate characters a bit. Red Sonja, she's similar enough to Xena.
Okay.
In the sense that, you know, she is a badass warrior woman and mess you up as soon as she looks at you. She's hard fighting, she's heavy drinking. I mean, she's probably most famous for the bikini chainmail armor.
Oh, okay.
Which, unfortunately, I am a fan of.
I mean, as long as you're a fan of it, okay.
the attitude that she pairs with it, kind of a thing. It works in context, but if you were to just see a picture...
Okay, it's not like some dumb spread. She actually like is a good character that can back up like the outfit.
She's a smart female character. She's very powerful. She's a very talented fighter. And she's also a very talented fighter when she's drunk.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Think of Red Sonja a bit this way. She's kind of a hard drinking, hard swearing, hard fighting version of Wonder Woman.
All right. That could be a pretty enjoyable movie.
Yeah.
If this is done correctly, it can be a very good, very fun movie. I do not doubt it will be violent as all get out. No, if you want a really good introduction into the character, definitely look up Gail Simone's Red Sonja Run for Dynamite.
Okay.
Remember the approximate time frame with which that was published, but there are a lot of layers to the character that's kind of hard to sum up on the spot.
That's fair. Well, I will definitely have to give her a look, and we highly recommend that all of our readers do it. I mean, not all readers, Jesus, all our listeners do as well. I cannot talk tonight. Hopefully, actually having a woman in the chair for this movie actually gives us some hope. I know that this movie has been in development hell for a hot minute, even before Singer was picked to do it. So maybe this is finally its shot to come up and do a thing, and actually keep the comic line actually being a thing for them. So good stuff. I feel like an idiot talking right now. Well, the next thing we got on the docket is that DC's young adult no longer ink and zoom, which we will talk about in our main topic tonight. It has some new adult books that are coming out soon, like that were just announced today. They're we have this whole thing that they're doing. We talked about it recently. Was the idea that young adult books are making a big splash, and they are actually starting to be more of a thing, which I honestly really enjoy. That it gives things people more of a hope when it comes to this type of things. We got a slew of new ones that were announced. We have, we had things like Zatanna and the House of Secrets. We had a Constantine book that was announced. A new Wonder Woman book that was announced. We had a Nubia book that was announced. Holy crap, that is amazing. And to see DC actually trying to reach these young readers with a diverse set of characters that isn't just Batman and Superman, it gives me a lot of hope. I recently read Teen Titans Raven, and it is so good. I didn't think I was gonna enjoy it, but it definitely has the same tone as the recent Catwoman book, where it's not afraid to talk about serious subject matter, and to see that being done for young adults is actually really good. I really enjoy it. I know this is a revisit topic, guys, but does any of the books on this list intrigue you at all?
Nearly all of them intrigue me.
Okay.
What list? Is it on the agenda?
Yes. You were supposed to read the agenda.
I did read the agenda. Black Label. I think I'm really excited for Batman Damned, especially now that it's coming back.
We ain't messing with Black Label. We're at the young adult section.
Oh man, I don't really mess with young adult stuff, if I'm being completely honest.
I don't a lot, but the idea of a Nubia book has me hyped. That's
stuff. Okay, I could see that.
I'm hyped for young for that. I'm hyped for the Oracle book, because seeing Barbara Gordon in an Oracle thing would be great. The Zatanna House of Secrets book looks adorable, and I'm about it. That just looks awesome.
I am very excited about Superman Smashes the Klan.
Yes.
How can you not be? How can you not be?
Just that title in general, Superman Smashes the Klan. That just sounds like a good time.
Actually based off of a series of episodes from the radio show in 1945, where Superman did the exact same thing.
What? Oh shit.
Superman in the Order of the Fiery Cross
Wow.
takes on a representation of the Ku Klux Klan that tries to kill a young Asian American boy and his family.
What?
5. Yes. It's an incredibly powerful storyline from the radio show directly after World War II, and Superman frickin' obliterates the Klan.
Which is so ironic because an Asian American guy, Jinlong Yang, is writing the book.
The 40s and 50s radio show for Superman, they are just gems that are completely lost to history. Excited to see Ji Yang bring this back. And so it's a book that we were actually made aware of a long time ago.
I didn't even hear about that. That's freaking insane.
But I'm very excited for it. A lot of these books I'm really excited about. And I'm excited for young people to get their hands on them.
Definitely. It definitely opens the door for new readers to come into comics and actually like find a new way in instead of just trying to pick up a Batman book. I definitely think this is a cool thing.
I'm practically jumping up and down in my seat about Nubia because bring her back already.
Legit though, she's just been away, like gone. Like, what wasn't she in Wonder Woman for like 2 seconds? Am I wrong?
Maybe in the background, but she didn't have any kind of a significant role.
Oh, no, that was the whole thing about them making Artemis black. That's right. That's right. Okay, but still, like that could have just been Nubia, and we lost that opportunity. But I'm mad.
I mean, you know, I'm looking at this list, and there's a decent chunk of titles.
I'm gonna say, from the last time we talked, I'm still hyped for the Cassandra Cain book. I feel like that's that'd be great.
Oracle's getting a book. Cassandra Cain is getting a book. I think Catwoman was definitely a great choice to come out swinging.
Yes.
That it sets the narrative. These books aren't just, you know, feel-good teen stories. Like, they are going to be dealing with very real issues.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to see where this goes. I'm very excited to see how these Unfortunately, it's just a wait and see because it looks like we're not going to be seeing a lot of them until 2020 to 2021.
That's really weird that we're getting that far out of an announcement for these.
It's probably for a couple different reasons, honestly, but...
Okay. Well, at least we know they're coming. Like, I when they first announced the idea of Ink and Zoom, I was pretty hyped about it. I think what we're about to talk about, like, has me worried about just DC's imprints in general. So let's go ahead and get into this. So the big announcement this week that had everyone talking was that DC announced in a new way to tighten up their publishing line. They're going to be shrinking some of their imprints. They're going to be only having just DC Kids for their for their 12 and unders, and they're going to have DC as the 13 plus, which will include anything from these young adult novels to their regular comics to any other graphic novels they publish, and then Black Label will be their 18 plus or like mature readers imprint for things like Batman Damned, the new Harley Quinn book, Last Night on Earth, stuff like that. And the reason why it had everybody up in arms was not only the situation of DC Ink and Zoom that were just announced, like, a year and a half ago, are being axed in favor of just having a DC young adult novel, like, thing. And not only that, but Vertigo is officially being terminated. And that's really depressing, seeing as Vertigo has been the hub for darker, more, like, serious adult stories at DC for so many years. And I don't know how to fully feel about it, because while I do agree Black Label has promise, I don't know why they didn't just bank on Vertigo rather than Black Label. Mary, what do you think?
very complicated issue.
Now, why do you say that?
Vertigo has an amazing legacy. We have had absolutely transformative books. We've had things like Sandman, Preacher, Why the Last Man, Enigma. I mean, these are
Doom Patrol.
some of the most influential books in the comics medium as a whole. Really, I am sad to let go of that legacy. However, not every Vertigo book is a winner.
That's true.
It's just kind of like talking about, if Image were to shut down entirely, kind of a thing. I'm not advocating for that or anything. It's just, it's a really difficult topic to process because, yes, these are books, and I really hope that they can find new homes. Maybe some of these books can transition to Image or whatnot, because Vertigo tends to be creator-owned.
Yeah.
That is not something DC has always been pleased with, is the fact that it has been a creator-owned imprint. It's purely speculation on my part whether or not that had a part to play in this.
Well, I know Jim Lee put out in a tweet that the idea of things like Young Animal and other creator-owned pop-ups are still possible, even though they are downgrading to just these three imprint things now. So maybe there's still hope for different kinds of books that we've grown attached to. It's
But
possible.
the chat points out, was Kai, said that Black Label means they can produce Batman stories for an 18-plus crowd. Vertigo did not have that license.
Yeah, that's true.
You see, again, my speculation, I think they just want to bring everything in-house. And, because you bought Vertigo didn't necessarily mean you bought DC. I think they have become more concerned with their in-house materials. Look at Young Animal, things like, Gerard Way's Doom Patrol or Jody Houser's Mother Panic. Like, yes, these are indie quote-unquote titles, but they still exist within the DCU.
Yeah. So it's weird. Like I know there's a lot of books at these companies that I definitely enjoy. So
Mm-hmm.
so it's sad to see this happen. Travis, what do you think about this? Like Vertigo going is definitely hard. So I want to know what you think.
I'm kind of indifferent, to be honest with you. Vertigo had some good stuff. I was a big fan of Lucifer and Sandman, but I mean, I also like the stuff that I'm reading from DC to kind of affect each other. So I'm hurt that it's going, but I'm also not hurt that it's going, if that makes any sense. Hence my indifference.
Okay. I'm not totally in the same boat with you because like there are a lot of things that I enjoy. Granted, I'm still more of a main DC fan. I still recognize that things like Doom Patrol, things like Sandman, things like Lucifer, Preacher have so much impact on the comics we read today. Swamp Thing's best books were made at Vertigo. Like it's definitely hard to think about the idea that we might not get these kind of books again for a while. Now, granted, Black Label still shows promise. Like, I'm not gonna knock Black Label because we've definitely seen some pretty good stuff come out of them. Like, Bat Dicks aside, like
Yeah.
there have been good things that have come out of Black Label so far. So I'm not gonna just say like no, this is bad, but I definitely am sad to see this happen. Um, One thing I will say though, I remember reading in a tweet this week that someone mentioned that the thing is Vertigo isn't fully gone in a sense there are still like the impact that Vertigo has made to the comics landscape is still noticeable. There are creator-owned projects sprouting up every other day, and to see how much like impact Vertigo and Image and other things have had on the comic book landscape shows that you don't just got to be at the big two to make a book, and you can make some of the most groundbreaking books in the history of the medium at self-published type situations. So definitely support different creators. Definitely support the people who worked at Vertigo. So that's where I'm going to leave that one.
Mhm.
Mary, what do you say about that?
Like I said, I think for me, I'm sad to see the legacy go
Yeah.
because it has been absolutely transformative. And, these are some books that, thankfully will withstand the test of time. Big concern is, will these books ever be reprinted or recollected? And because I used to work in a retail an LCS environment, that's kind of where my brain starts to go with these things. Is like, okay, they reprinted Preacher a few years ago before the TV show took off. In 5-6 years when it typically comes around to be reprinted or recollected, something like Why the Last Man ever going to be collected again?
Yeah.
The existing trade's going to shoot up in the speculator market, like trying to find a copy of the Hikatea or something.
Hopefully, like there's definitely a chance that it could happen. I definitely like there was the case with what was it? American Way by the guy who wrote 12 Years a Slave. Hit the second volume of it went for like because it was originally published under Wildstorm when it was being published through when it was being published through DC, and then it had the opportunity to continue under Vertigo. So maybe there's hope for some of these properties. I don't know, but I'm not gonna like speculate and dive into all that when there's still promise. Like there's still good books that are being made. There's still awesome stuff going on. So I'm not gonna go into stuff that I don't know about. So I guess we just gotta wait and see on this. But it's definitely sad to see the legacy go. Well, from there, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the show for the evening. Um, Travis, what is a book this week that you have read that you want to recommend to the readers at home? Well, the listeners at home. I cannot talk. Well, they read too, so yeah, I guess they are readers.
Oh, I'm gonna say Detective Comics. To be honest with you,
Why is that?
1005, because it's the Detective Comics after 1000 has been working with the Arkham Knight, which is if everyone's familiar from the from the Arkham series games,
Is it
but
Jason
they're
Todd?
not. No, and that's amazing. It's amazing.
Thank
It's
God.
honestly like the Tomasi is doing a wonderful job with how Astrid Arkham, not spoiler, that was weeks ago we learned that, y'all. But Astrid Arkham, the Arkham Knight, is basically a polar opposite forced extreme of Batman. She's a direct result of him,
Ooh.
and it's really nice. It's a nice change of pace from all the dark and gritty. She's a warrior of the light. It oh man, it's wonderful to read to see. Maybe I'm weird for this, but I like to see Batman lose. He's his greatest after a significant
You don't like
loss,
Bat
and
God, Travis? What happened? What happened to you loving Bat God?
Batgod, he took that L himself when he got off the chair, but that's a whole other thing. Batgod was terrible. Why'd you? But yeah, I don't know. The Arkham Knight is it's wonderful. It's a wonderful change of pace from all this gritty, all the Zazzes and the Jokers and the Penguins that you have to deal with. This is fresh and this is new, and I really hope that other writers pick up the Arkham Knight and give this more lore. I want to see a new villain reach like Rogues Gallery level for Batman because we do see a lot of the old ones pretty much all the time.
Okay, okay. Mary, what is a book you've read this week that you want to shout out for folks? Mary, did you die? Mary,
Mary,
come back. Your mic's muted.
Mary.
Mary.
Sorry, I had a bit of technical trouble.
Oh, okay. No big deal.
No, a book that I want to give a shout out to this week is definitely Batman and the Outsiders #2.
Okay. Why is that?
Was that this week or was that last week?
Let me check. Hit this button. It might have been 2 weeks ago, but I'm gonna check.
Oh.
I
Well,
mean, still
crap.
shout it out if you want. It's a good series. Go ahead.
Well, I can switch it up to because I haven't put my books away and they are in
Well,
complete
go read Batman and the
piles.
Outsiders regardless, because I love Brian
Yeah.
Edward Hill. Go support him.
Yes, and he's doing a lot of really. #2 is definitely another strong entry in the series. But let's give a shout out to Star Wars Dr. Aphra,
Ooh.
which is it is a Star Wars book that is really not like the others because, well, she doesn't exist in the larger canon outside of this comic book. Issue 33, like, this book is on issue 33 with multiple annuals. Like, it's having a great time with itself. If you like Indiana Jones and if you like Star Wars, this is definitely a great book for you. Aphra is a wonderful character. She's I like to call her gay panic in space, but because it is, that's what she is. But no, it's a fantastic book. This is another great entry. If you like mysteries and crap, like it's a great book.
Okay. And then what my book for the week is going to be is Excellence #2 from Image Comics and Skybound, written by Brandon Thomas with art by Carrie Randolph. This book has been amazing. The first issue blew my mind. The second issue, like, just took it to the next level. When this book was first announced, because I've been loving Brandon Thomas's work from Lion Forge writing Noble, this book just jumped out at me as another great book for African Americans to enjoy. It's like it definitely has those unintentional or maybe possibly intentional hints of Harry Potter with the wands and stuff like that, but it also takes it in its own direction with a secret society and stuff like that brings it its own flair, and it tells the story of like a father and a son and legacy, and it's so powerful, and I highly recommend it to anybody who loves a really good read. So definitely check that out at your local comic book store. Travis, what is your closing statement for episode 9?
Support local comics. It'll always be support your local comics. I don't have one and I'm jealous. Please do it for me.
Oh, okay.
Other than that, man, honestly, pick up Batman Damned 3. It's been getting delayed a lot, so you're probably going to have to reread 1 and 2.
Yeah, probably.
But it's been very good from what I remember, and I'm definitely going to be rereading the 2 before I read 3.
Okay. Mary, what is your closing statement for episode 9?
I'm very excited for this new round of graphic novels, and I'm gonna do something kind of strange here. I'm gonna say something nice about Bendis, which I don't normally do.
Oh God.
But Event Leviathan is like, it's gonna be really good. Like, I am excited for Event Leviathan.
Is it only because of Manhunter?
No, it actually looks like it's gonna be really good.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say this: if you haven't read the first issue, Lois Lane and Batman are gonna be your new bro TP. Like,
seriously,
I need a book. Yes, they are my new bro TP.
Mary.
Like, I need a.
I know. Lois Lane and Batman.
They are my new. No, they are my new bro TP, not OTP, bro TP.
Okay.
No, I just want them running around solving mysteries together, and I'm pretty sure that's what this book is going to give us.
Okay.
No, nothing romantic. I just want to see, like, Batman and Lois just running around punching people and solving mysteries.
So, like, you want to have, like, a continuation of the Detective 1000 plotline, and Lois Lane gets inducted into the Detective Society? Okay.
Because Event Leviathan #1 deals a lot with those two having to work together.
That sounds like a very weird combo, but I might have to check it out.
Okay.
Yeah. My closing statement always is definitely going to echo Travis because he stole my line. Always support local comic book shops. This is important to keep this industry alive. Like keep enjoying the books that you are reading, whether it be DC, whether it be Marvel, Image, Dark Horse, Boom. Doesn't not matter. There is a book out there for you. If you need help finding a book for you, if you don't think there is a place for you in comics, reach out to us on Twitter. I am on Twitter at James C Portis 3. Like all of us are here. I don't know how everyone feels about shouting out their Twitter. I'm not going to do that to them if they don't want to. Always follow everyone. Like follow the On Comics Ground Twitter at On Comics Ground and on Instagram at On Comics Ground, because we're always talking about the new releases. We're always reviewing these comics for you guys. We want to show you that comics are for you. So definitely check out these books. And I don't know how I feel about Batman and Lois Lane being a team, but if Mary says it, it must be good. So go check that out. All right, we will go ahead and catch you folks next time right here at Panel to Panel next week. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will catch you all next time.